Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? I'm Baron Theo Mound Builder. You know what I'm saying? My full name is Baron Theo Enoch L. Ninth Ether Woolly Hair Mound Builder. I'm of the Empire Washita De Dug de Mounya, Mu De Amaru, Anu Foundation. You know what I mean? Which equals an indigenous ecclesi civil society. You see what I'm saying? I want to thank the audience for attending the Healing for Disenfranchised 2020 Virtual Summit. Make some noise for yourself right now. Make some noise, make some noise. Alright, let's get into this right now. The first question is, what does it mean to be indigenous? Well, indigenous needs to be from a certain location naturally, being from the land. You know what I'm saying? It don't got to be necessarily a set location because we are the indigenous people of Earth. You know what I mean? We're not just the indigenous people of Kibalon, Asia, America. We're the indigenous people of Earth as melanated people. You see what I'm saying? The Washita were the indigenous people of North America that came from Kibalon, came from Mu. You see what I'm saying? And mixed in with the Olmec that came in from West Africa and the Mali Moors. Okay? So, coming in from Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, through the Mississippi culture, understanding the Mississippi culture is the element of where you get the Washita settings. And what's really going on is you got different settings. Her Highness Divine Empress Verdiasi was the one who went to the United States she went to the United Nations in 1993, and the Washita Indigenous Nation of Mound Builders received this number 21593 as one of the oldest indigenous nations on Earth. You know what I'm saying? And before that, one of the eldest empresses, Delphi Kim Washington Washita, lived during the turbulent years immediately following the legal recovery part of the land in 1848. She experienced the violent assaults waged upon the Washita and the Tunica. So, to make it understand, Henry Turner is the son of Marquis de Maison Rouge. Marquis Joseph de Maison, the child of French nobility, was rescued by Baron Philip de Bastrop at the beginning of the unrest culmination with the French Revolution. Henry Turner is the child of Marquis Maison Rouge and the imperial washerwoman, Her Highness Saint Cyril L.I. Maria. And the discovery of her Egyptian-like coffin recounted in the Return of the Ancient Ones. After Marquis' death, Henry Turner began recovering the titles to all the land rights granted under his father's name, including the Maison Rouge grant, that Baron Bastrop, and the Croissant grant. So, the Washita are a group of people, a nation of people, you know what I'm saying, that was in this land like the Tunica, the Washita, the Yuchi, the Yamasi, the Choctaw, you know what I'm saying? All these are indigenous tribes of North America. You see what I'm saying? And, for this to be a spiritual healing for yourself is to understand these facts and be established in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Now, the connection to Moors and the blacks of America is they're the same. Moors is dark-skinned, swarthy. You know what I mean? And there's no definition for black in law. So if you want to use the term to describe our pigmentation, it would be melanated people. We are melanated people around the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely important that you understand that when the world was all one, you know what I'm saying, when we got Mu is the oldest landmass. You see what I'm saying? And the Amaru are the oldest ancient of people, like Tupac Amaru. You know what I mean? Tupac Amaru was the last Inca chief that fought against the Spanish. You see what I'm saying? So There's a whole bunch of history that is not being told about us because considered to be conquered through the discovery doctrine that was put together by the papal bull by the Roman Catholic Church. And this is what they said, that if you come to a land and discover there's no Christians, and you can enslave the land and take the people. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was, this is what Columbus used to discover America. This was a term that was even used in the United States in 1825 during the Johnson-McIntosh Supreme Court decision, where John Marshall said that because the Indians were conquered by Christian domain, that Indians could not sell land to anyone but the United States of America. Now let's go back to this term Indian. When Columbus came, Columbus coined the term Indian. Now when you look in the term Indian, you got Indi, like indigenous, which means black. You know what I mean? Dark skin. The first people of Earth were around the equator, and that's why they was dark skinned with woolly hair. That's why I'm the ninth ether, woolly hair mound builder. You know what I'm saying? That's the mound builders. We are the ancient people of the earth. You see what I'm saying? And so, when you begin to talk to your grandmothers, your aunts of elderlies, and they start telling you, yeah, my grandmother, my mother was Indian, you know what I'm saying? Most likely that was real, because in the beginning, the majority of slaves that were put into slavery in America were from here. That's why they was running to the north, because they knew they could be free. So they start bringing in Africans, because the Native Americans knew where they was going. The Africans didn't know where they was going. They would just stand there unless, Harriet Tubman and her people would come and help save them. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with the Empire of Washita, it's 9 nations, 33 tribes. You know what I'm saying? And one of the other standout indigenous tribes back then was called the Yamasee, who was like the warrior tribes. They fought with the United States and the Native Americans 1713 to like 1720, and then they came into Florida and became the Black Seminoles. You see what I'm saying? Florida at the time was under Catholic and Spanish, so those melanated people that came into Florida was able to be free. Up until we had the Black Seminole War that was fought in Miami, and the Dade Massacre, where Sergeant Dade was massacred by the Black Seminoles, and the United States had to give up during the Seminole War. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a healing effect to be able to mentally and spiritually get these facts. You know what I mean? Because of a conquered people, we've been educated. You know what I mean? The educated means they've given us the information that they want us to know. So the ability is for you to read and get orally, connected with information from the past. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana, Louis and Anna. The name is the joint of Marquise Mason Ruse and Anna Marie Washita, Louis and Anna, because they knew the Catholic Church wouldn't recognize the marriage, so they put the land in the will. Henry Turner collected all the grants, and then Baron Bastrop showed up in 1848, and the United States versus the Turner family. The Turner family won the land back that was taken in the Louisiana Purchase. You see what I'm saying? Now, to be able to reclaim your indigenous rights is a tricky situation, because there's not too many dark-skinned, melanated tribes that are federally recognized. You know what I'm saying? Because of the blood quantum. Back in the days, the 1-drop rule said if you had 1 drop of black blood, then you was a slave. You see what I'm saying? And then they turned Indians to coloreds, the mulattoes. They just flipped up the definitions to all these different people based off the lighter of their skin. You know what I mean? People of color was able to be free. You know what I'm saying? So not all people were slaves in America. Up north, there was a lot of people from Massachusetts, Virginia, North Carolina that were able to be free. And the percentage of these people were melanated people. The Lenape of Virginia, you know what I'm saying, Delaware Moors, all these different people were free. And so to connect to your indigenous rights, you got to talk to your grandmothers, find out what tribes you was connected to. Like for me, I got connected with the Washita going to Louisiana. You know what I mean? Me and my brothers, and we got into Washita, and then Yamasi, we did a conference in Fort Lauderdale, and Chief Sekou and his mother came to Fort Lauderdale, and so with our last names, my father's last name is Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Wilson is a direct connect to the Yamasi and the Power Monkey. My mother's family is Shawnee and from Kentucky, Shawnee Town. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to do the history on yourself to be able to go and find this information. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely imperative that you start referring to yourself as indigenous and not black, not African American, not colored. Because if you know who you are, then people have to accept that. You see what I'm saying? And the spiritual and healing is more important than anything, because your spirit is your healer. So if you able to connect and develop your spirit and grow your spirit, the healing happen naturally. You see what I'm saying? And that's through feeding the brain with facts. You know what I'm saying? Giving yourself information that you know and and understand. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of stories, man. I just encourage everybody to Google. You know what I'm saying? My path is basically understanding that as an indigenous setting, we're international people, you know, and that enables us to be able to do international commerce. You know, I got an affidavit from the Yamasi tribe and put that up. I put a whole declaration together, a proclamation declaration, and put it on public record in the miscellaneous real estate in every city that I go into. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of these things these people don't want to adhere to. You see what I'm saying? They want to turn their eye to the law, you know, but, you know, under the rule of law, every man must have nationality. You know, in the indigenous rights, every man must have nationality. Your nationality, though, cannot be defined by land, language, or color, only blood. You know, so I'm Washita, I'm Yamasi, either you're Yoruba, you know what I'm saying? Whatever these tribes are is what you want to get back to, not the land. You want to get back to the tribes, the blood, because that's who you are, that's who you belong to. You see what I'm saying? And the culture, our culture of that, of understanding, you know what I'm saying, the spirituality, of understanding the science, the math, the history, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that heal your spirit, that bring you back to that level of consciousness that you are supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? We're moving through the universe right now, and we're evolving as a species. And as long as we stay underneath this black and white setting, we're never going to return to our conscious of being these indigenous people, the first people of the land. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, not everybody is going to come under Washita. Some people's going to come under Yamasi. Some people's going to come under Yuchi. Some people's going to come under Choctaw. You know, Alabama, Mississippi, Choctaw. You know what I'm saying? Just find the different nations and then see where these people were, and then start to research and find out, you know, who your family was and who you're connected to. You know what I'm saying? But most of all, you cannot refer to yourself as being black. You know what I'm saying? That's the term that doesn't give you any definition as a person. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they call everybody African, is because African is another term for them, for black. You know, the people of Africa don't even call themselves African. They call themselves whatever nation they're from, or whatever tribe they're from, or clan. You see what I'm saying? We belong to a matriarch. The Empire of Washita's always have women that have been the empress. You see what I'm saying? Of the Washita. So in some of the oldest settings, you'll find that, you know, the women were the royalty of the element. Not that men wasn't, you know, because you had chiefs, but the women were the ones who were the spokesperson. They controlled the land. You know what I'm saying? So the matriarch is definitely important. Like when you go back to what is called Ishtar, Isis, or Set, you know, for Easter, it was a celebration of Ishtar. You know what I'm saying? The feminine goddess of reproduction. And then after a while, she gave her glory to the sun. making it a Mason, a mother and the son. You are your mother's son. But this is how Christ became anointed, through Ishtar, who's like the Black Madonna holding Christ, or Set in Kemet. Asar, Set, Heru in Kemet. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people want to say that the Old Testament, all that is in North America. You know what I'm saying? All these things are in North America because the Commission, Ptah, and Set and Asar, they all come from Atlantis. You see what I'm saying? Into the Middle East. So you got a lot of ladders, man. It's a lot of stories out there, but I'm telling everybody that you need to find these catchphrases, find these words, Washita, indigenous mound builders, you see what I'm saying? And build from there, build from Mu, Lemuria, you know what I'm saying? Look up Atlantis, look up Akibalon, look up Amexa. You see what I'm saying? These are the terms that's going to give you your information.